got so much eraser dust everywhere. My desk is a pigsty. Anyway, today's video is a first for me. I have never done a subscriber redraw before, and this is my first. I was contacted by Luzifeerrr. They wanted me to redraw their picture. I'll have it right here, of this circus woman in front of a tent. So that is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to redraw this picture in my style for this subscriber. I will make this a series too. If you want me to redraw one of your pictures in your style, message me through Instagram and send me the picture, and I will stick you in the queue and I will you know, redraw your pictures and your illustrations if you want me to in my style. I'm up for the challenge. I'm not scared. So with the illustration today from Luzifeerrr, I am going to keep it as close to the original as possible. I am also going to be using the exact same colors and everything. So yeah, I actually felt a lot of pressure doing this, being my first subscriber redraw. I don't know, I just was feeling a little bit of like, I hope I do it justice, and I hope that that the subscriber Luzifeerrr is happy with it. Yeah, there was a lot of things going through my mind when I first started this, and yeah, it was, yeah, I get a little bit anxious. Yeah, it was super fun. Like, I definitely want to do this again. I ended up cutting a really quite large square because when I first started drawing this piece, I wasn't sure how big I was going to go, and I wasn't sure what details I was going to put into the back. It was kind of just like, I'll just see how I feel as I go through, because as much as I wanted to keep this quite the same as the original, there's definitely was going to be elements that I was going to put in that I would have just done anyway if I was to create this myself. So that's what I ended up doing. When I first started to draw this piece, I did kind of just want to stick with the sort of the elements exactly how they were, but then as I started to draw, I realized that I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep the tent in the background, whether or not I was going to do a tent in the background. As you'll see as we get on, I end up doing something a little bit different, but in the same sort of style as a tent. And yeah, there was a lot of inner battles to not change it too much, but still put the elements in that I would have done anyway. As I started to draw, I sort of ended up sort of making her doll-like, and it's sort of, I didn't intentionally mean to do a doll-like woman, but I don't know, she just turned out that way. And when I was drawing her lips and her the lines that go across like a doll, I don't know, that just happened. I didn't plan to do that. I just ended up doing that. So I went with it, and then I sort of made the rest of her arms and that very doll-like, and yeah, sort of wanted an illusion of well, not an illusion, but a sort of like a what do you call it? I wanted to make her look like a doll or look like human. Like, you could interpret her two different ways to the viewer, and yeah, that's what I ended up going with, and I was quite happy with how they came out, because it was kind of not planned, but then I sort of went with it and sort of made it in that respect. So I ended up going with a circus booth. I just didn't know what I wanted to do here, whether I just wanted to do like a wraparound banner like in Luzifeerrr's one, or if I just wanted to just have like a booth where there's the sign of what it is, like the circus, and have Imagine in this very sort of tarnished paper sign. And yeah, that's what I ended up going with. I moved the circus from the top of the original, I moved mine down to the bottom onto like a poster with the words Imagine. So it kind of sort of spells out Circus Imagine. And then I just left I put the tickets word up above in the big sign up above her in the booth, and then put the cost of it off to the side to line up with the tickets word. And yeah, there was just a few rearrangings of stuff. This piece did take me a while to do. I filmed this over 3 days. It's another 3-day illustration. Obviously, like I said in the last video, this wasn't a full-on like 3 days straight. It was only a couple of hours, because once again, still a little bit busy. That was our little boy Tyson. He is a pure English Staffy. He is he's heading into being 10 years old. He's still 9, but he is nearly 10, and he is just a big sook, and he is my beautiful little papa. He is just the bestest, goodest little boy. He doesn't come inside at all. He lives on the veranda upstairs, which is enclosed anyway, but I have a thing about dog hair, so I don't particularly want dog hair in the house. So that was a rarity that I ended up bringing him into the office, yeah, for something different. Anyway, let's get back to the piece, shall we, after we had the puppy break. I've been learning how to build up layers on the skin colors, because yeah, it's not something that's one of my strong points. So I've been sort of teaching myself how to do this, and I'm hoping that I'm getting better at it. I'm trying my best to improve with every picture that I do, and sometimes there's going to be days where I take, 2 steps forward and then 10 steps back, but that's just having a bad day. But I haven't had a bad day in a while, so I wouldn't be surprised if my art block is due to make an appearance soon and stop me from being inspired. But usually when that happens, I just take a bit of a break and yeah, come back a little bit refreshed. So what I tend to do is I tend to film, and I tend to have a couple of weeks in advance of my videos, just in case something does happen like that, where I just want to take a break, or yeah, something happens like being busy with the part-time work that I'm currently doing for my partner's business, and one of his businesses. And yeah, just if something arises and yeah, I can't do any drawing for a while, I am covered for a good week or two. So yeah, that's how I operate with everything. So I don't get get burnt out with drawing and then I don't want to do it anymore. But that's not going to happen because I absolutely love drawing. Anyway, another tangent. All right, let's get back on track to the picture. So I ended up using the silver Sharpie for the buttons, and I love using the metallics at the moment, and I really I need to get myself another set of metallic markers that are probably a little bit better. Like, I'm trying to go on the hunt for these like super awesome metallic markers. Because I've just been really enjoying adding that element into my pieces at the moment. And when I saw that the girl in Luzifeerr's original had teal hair, I basically lost my shit because I love putting teal in a picture. So I ended up doing obviously the hair teal because I'm keeping it as original as possible. But I ended up not doing the colors of the woman exactly because when I go back to my office desk, which is just behind me in the office, I've got a laptop over there. So what I'm basically doing is I'm referring to the colors of Luzifeerr's piece. And what happened was the colors look a little bit different on my laptop than they do on my desktop and then on my phone. So everything's a bit different. So I basically was going off the laptop screen, and the laptop's a little bit like shitty in that respect for getting a good color reference. So I ended up sort of trying my best with the colors on the top, trying to match that sort of browny sort of color and the maroon sort of color, but I sort of wanted to then intensify them a little bit more just to make them a bit brighter in my piece. So that's why everything's darker and brighter, because that's just was my intentions for this piece, to sort of make it a really bright circus piece. And in the background, as you can see, instead of doing the tent, I went with a big sort of wheel with the sort of the same patterns as the tent that was in the original. But I went with a grey because I didn't want to stick with the white, which was what the background was. I sort of felt as though I needed another colour in there, so I went with the grey. And yeah, that's basically every element that's in the piece as you're seeing it now. I'm just going over everything now and outlining everything and sort of finishing it off and tidying it up. And I sort of mulled over the idea of putting like a bit of a wash in the background or doing a border, but I don't know, I didn't want to take away too much from that main piece, so I just left it as that picture. I didn't want to do any backgrounds, I just left it. And yeah, that's I think that was a good idea to just leave it like that, because usually I do a wash in the background, and you know, I just didn't want to go that way. And I also mulled over the idea of putting some blood stains somewhere in there on the side, but I sort of didn't want to do that. I just wanted to keep it yeah, like the original. And the wood grain, I added the wood grain texture because I really enjoyed doing the wood grain. And then when I attack the circus word and the tickets word with the white gel pen, I end up just doing really big, bold, chunky white highlights just to give it that real shine. And yeah, that's basically the piece summed up in one, you know, in a video. So I am, this was super fun. Like I said, if you want me to redraw your picture, like I said, email me, send me a message on Instagram with the piece. I'm more than happy to make this another series and just do this as another series. And I want to say thank you to Luzifeerrr for letting me do this to your piece, and I hope that you like this, and yeah, I've done it justice for you. So anyway, I'm out of here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.